I want to talk to you about kind of follow up some things that I talked about in the last one. So let me just kind of get this out the way. I did not want this joystick in my game at all. At first, I literally that was probably the last thing that I put in because I think it was the last thing I put in. Originally, my idea was to just have you touch the screen, touch the player, and go left to right. Now the problem was when I actually was play testing it. Um, it would actually hurt sometimes when you had to rush from left side to the right side of the screen because your phone was so big, so you would have to like switch thumbs sometimes, or sometimes I would find myself playing it with my pointer finger, and it really took away from the experience. And then another issue that I had was originally when a player, when a cops drop money or the enemies drop money, I wanted you to have to actually touch the money with your finger. So anyway, that being said, sometimes you would test the money with your finger, and the player would move that direction. So there was a lot of issues during that last week of development that really actually really made me depressed because I started to see how bad games are made. I was like, and I said to myself, I was like, yo, you're not releasing a bad game. I was like, you're gonna release nothing before you release a bad game. You're just gonna have to go on Facebook and tell everybody game was canceled. Sorry. Um, and so I was like, either that or you're gonna sit there and figure it out. Another issue a big issue that I had, and it was funny, those. Shout out to everybody who came to my shows. The shows were super informative. It was funny. Each event there were different, not complaints, but different suggestions. And so the first, I forgot the big suggestion. No, the big suggestion for the first show was that they wanted weapons. There was because it was only a pistol, and I was like, "Listen, you're gonna get that." And they wanted more levels because it was only this level. So I was like, "Listen, you're gonna get that. Calm down." So they got that. Then the biggest complaint, and this was like a reoccurring complaint with the on the second show, was the camera. And so I think, here is the main camera now. So this camera originally, I'll turn this one off. The original camera was here. As you can see, it was literally not even moving. You would just move your player around, and the camera would stay still. Now, I was actually okay with that, but the problem was when you would move off the screen, there were enemies that you had to shoot on the edges. And these guys, the way they're programmed, just kind of give you an idea of the cops. I even show you guys. Let me turn that back on just in case I forget. Turn this off. So the way they're programmed is there's waypoints on the floor. Here are the waypoints, and let me show you guys. So there are different waypoints on the floor, as you guys can see here. That's one waypoint, the second waypoint, third, 4, 5, 6. And so the way they're programmed is they're gonna randomly. So after you kill this guy, he's another story. I had a lot of people say, well, when these two things blow up, when the cars blow up, he should be affected. So I created him just for him to get blown up. But these two guys, when they die, it's a 2 second or 1.5 second wait, and then they spawn. And when they spawn, the script says go to one of these 6 random waypoints randomly. And that's kind of how I wanted it. You can see that these are the waypoints for the van. When the van comes over here, kind of give you an idea how that works. And so kind of go back to the scripting. The van is always there. So like game development is kind of like magic, right? The van is actually right there. You guys just can't see it. And so what I do is, I think it's after like 2 minutes or something like that. Whatever how much time it is. The van, which you can see is blacked out here, is actually right here. It triggers. So it says activate van, so you can kind of see it in the background and you can see it there. And then the van has a spawn point as well, and I think it's like 3 seconds I have it set to. Anyway, so that kind of give you guys some of the behind the scenes of the video game magic. But what was the point of me saying all that? The point of me saying all that was when they would go to those random waypoints, sometimes the player would have to go off the screen to shoot them. And then at the same time, there were issues that he wouldn't shoot. It looked like he wouldn't shoot straight because it would create this beautiful V with that camera angle, right? And so what I had to do was I didn't even, it didn't even occur to me to have it behind him. But I was doing a lot of things with the camera. Like I would zoom it back. I would go in, kind of give you guys an idea. I was playing with the camera perspective. I was like, okay, I'm going to zoom it in. And I was like, nah, go back here. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe I can move it up. I can go in and say, okay, now we're going to go like a drop down. I was like, let me rotate it. And actually, there was a point, I didn't do it, obviously I didn't do it. But there was a point in the development where I was going to have the game like kind of like more of a top down. Because that was the only way that I can, you see how much bigger it looks, that I can allow the player to still stay on screen and shoot. Thank Christ Jesus that I was able to put this. And so the reason why I didn't want the camera to follow, because honestly I thought it was going to be too much scripting. I was like, I couldn't even imagine the type of code that you would have to write. I figured it would be something like a code like, camera, not, because again, you can't just write follows. I guess you can say like camera move toward player, check again. I can't even think of the code. But I was very happy because I never wrote it. I was very happy that it was simple as literally just putting the main camera in the main player, just like his head, his guns, like I showed you guys earlier, are all in him. So wherever this body goes, all of everything in here goes there. So if I were to put a cop in here, when he goes left, the cop will go left. So anyway, I don't know why I didn't figure it out. It was like 3 in the morning one day, and I was just messing with things, and it worked out. And so it was kind of like a very happy accident. So anyway, back to moving back and forth with the screen. The joystick saved my life because it created a feeling that it was like a compromise. I didn't want to create a game where it simulated like buttons on the right side and a stick on the left side. So the compromise was you're just going to get the stick. Now, it felt just the same as it felt playing it on a PC, which was my main goal. How responsive it was, because I never got any complaints about how responsive it was, which is great. Let me show you guys the second scene. One thing about the first scene too is that I thought about putting a health bar on a boss, but I just didn't. I didn't want to have to put health bars on everybody. I think that it would have took away from the aesthetics of the game. So let me just say this. This is not Seattle. Everyone's been saying, oh, this has got to be Seattle. It is not Seattle. Actually, I didn't even want this building here originally. When I created the level, there was literally just a gap right here. And I was just like, I got to put something there. And I didn't want to put like another flat building. And so I was like, you know what? I'll put that. And I didn't think it was going to be like dead center. But obviously it is dead center. But the main thing is I created this level. I wanted to show off the spotlights because I had, the light here. It's actually just a spotlight. I wanted to show off the spotlight. And originally when I created the game, there were shadows every time. I don't know. I actually, to this day, I can't figure out how to get them back without redoing it all over. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stress it too much because, again, that's another thing that the iPhone is going to slow down on. And so when I originally put this game on the phone, this level slowed down like crazy. And it was because the rain, the wind, the fog. It was originally fog back here. I remember my homie Mendez was like, yo, I love your fog. I felt so bad when I took it out. I thought about him when I took it out. All of that created so much slowdown. So I took the fog out. And then also the rain, I had to actually lower it. So the rain that you guys see is not the hardest rain. Like I can make it rain harder. The original game, it rained way harder. And at the same time too, I had to lower the graphic settings for the raindrops that you guys see on the screen. And so I say all that to say, it still looks great now. But that was something I really, kind of show you guys. Hopefully the rain pops up. That was something that really bothered me. But I mean, as you can see, there's a lot going on with this game. Whether there's the smoke, whether there's the fire, whether there's the wind, whether it's these guys. You kind of can see the rain coming down now. All right. Lastly, there's these little boxes. So remember, I mentioned to you guys about Contra, about how you change weapons in Contra, and I was thinking to myself, how do you want to do that? So originally, I was gonna make like a little, maybe like when you kill them, you have to like touch the weapon to pick it up, and I was like, okay, you can do that. But then I was thinking, how about like I was actually playing Mario Kart with one of my the kids in my family, and I was thinking to myself like, wow, how cool would it be to just have a box, and the box. I'm trying to show you guys, it's not coming out. Where is this damn box? Random box. Anyway, I was thinking to myself, how cool would it be to have a random box, and sometimes like how Mario Kart, when you're playing Mario Kart, sometimes you get like a cool weapon, or sometimes you get you know or you get something that may speed you up, or you get something to slow somebody else down. And so I wanted you to have to take a chance to slow you down, and that could be a gun jam, or that could be the screen shaking. Where you have to, excuse me, that could be the screen um, distorting